Alright guys, welcome to the 23rd episode of Below the Bar.
In this episode, expect to find out why you should never do anything by half measures, how you can beat up a koala bear with your bare hands,
And how I unintentionally started a brawl on a night out in Liverpool.
Let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to episode 23 of Below the Bar. This is a Q&A special.
Q&A special. So we did this, have we done this before for a Below the Bar?
I think we've done a Below the Bar one, yeah.
So we've done a Lift in the Lid one and a Below the Bar. The Lift in the Lid one was you just posing questions to me about the core one. It wasn't external ones. These ones have been, basically we just put out question boxes on all three socials, so mine, yours and the podcast ones. If you've asked questions, then they might be answered if you've asked good enough questions.
Firstly, thank you for asking questions. Secondly, if they're good enough, they might get answered.
Yeah, so I haven't seen any of them. Eddie's gone through and vetted them, beta test, gone through and vetted them to make sure they're good enough, and then we'll obviously riff on them for a few minutes each. First of all, we're going to go through Helmet of the Week. So you've got one today, haven't you? So I'll let you go for it.
Helmet of the Week. Well, this is the Tory party conference.
Yeah.
So every year, the two major parties, well, all kind of political parties have an annual conference, but the Conservatives and Labour kind of have a big one, and it's just a week of them peddling their kind of agenda, so to speak. But because the Conservative Party is currently in kind of a state of fucking relapse.
Yeah.
State of flux. It's just been an absolute shit show, effectively. And I've tried to stay away from it. I've stopped watching the news now, and my mental health's all the better for it. But because these are such big events, it's hard to avoid them. You know, just getting sound bites on TikTok, like the TikTok or the radio or something.
Yeah, so I'm the same. I stopped watching the news pretty much because it's always bad news. It brings you down. So I didn't really see much of this. The only thing I saw was Rishi Sunak saying about men being men and women are women and that kind of line. That was peddled around TikTok.
His anti-trans agenda.
You know, it's not really anti-trans. It makes sense what he says, but the thing they're trying to do, which is the horrible part of it, is they're trying to push trans people to the forefront of the argument and you know, push all the focus onto them when there's obviously massive issues that they've just left the country with, and they're trying to sort of divert attention from those onto a different issue, which is what they always try and do.
Well, it's weird, the Conservative Party at the moment, because you've got kind of like people that used to be on the fringes of the party, like Suella Braverman, Priti Patel, Rishi Sunak, 50p Lee, or was it 30p Lee? The fucking that Lee Anderson hat.
30p Lee, wasn't it?
They weirdly now they're at the front of the party, right? And because they know they've been in charge for 13 years and achieved fuck all they can do is blame other people in the party.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh look, I know we're Conservative, but it wasn't us, it was them.
Yeah. Well, they either blame other people in the party, they blame poor people, or they blame people who are immigrants.
It's all just identity politics, isn't it? To disguise or distract from the fact that all the real issues like climate change or kind of
housing crisis,
or actually like
COVID,
actual grown-up things that they
Brexit,
should be grown-up things they should be dealing with, which they haven't.
I mean, we've named like 5 massive issues there in about 2 seconds without even thinking about it, so that's good.
So basically the Helmet of the Week is anyone that kind of unironically attended that conference.
Yeah.
Because if you want to associate yourself with the Conservative Party in 2023, you're fucking either delusional or a fascist.
I'll extend that to anyone. So the Helmet of the Week is anyone who associates himself with the Tory party.
yeah, especially after the HS2 announcement as well. That is fucking mental. That's the ultimate flip-flop, that is. Right.
Another U-turn.
Yeah, anyway, that's enough of that.
Because negative politics is always bollocks.
Yeah, and I could moan about this until the fucking cows come home, so...
We're going to rein you in on that one. The take-home point is, don't watch the news.
Be an ostrich. Bury your head in the sand. Life's so much better.
Ignorance is bliss.
Bury your head in a snatch.
That'll be the day for you, mate.
Mot your way to bliss.
You're a born-again virgin, lad.
Yeah, monk mode 2023.
Monk mode enacted.
Right, the final piece of Q&A admin I will just say is this is a below the bar Q&A. So these are all non-military related questions. Next week we're going to do a Lift in the Lid Q&A. Yeah. So if you asked any kind of military or core related questions, they'll be next week.
Yeah. So Still watch though, because there are some. I'm assuming there's still.
Yeah, this is
going
to be. This is going to definitely fucking edge on the side of silly. I would say.
Yeah, he's going to put his silly hat on for episode 1 and 2.
I have vetted the questions, but you can only deal with what you're working with.
As I always say, you can only piss with the cock you've got.
Exactly, and this is quite a small cock.
And this is a pindick.
Right, so I'll open us up then.
Yeah.
Is the Brummie accent the worst in the UK? Give 3 reasons why.
Yes.
Yeah, unanimously, yes it is. And let's unpack that.
So first reason,
birds hate it.
Okay, yeah, birds hate. Well,
that's got to be top of the tree.
Yeah,
because ultimately everything I do in life is to appease females. So.
Yeah, so that's the most important one. I think the second one is you can come across stupid.
Yeah, so birds hate it. Number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, you sound dumb and ignorant.
Yes. So we recently a pub next to it was Crooked House got burnt down. You might have seen it on the news. It was a massive thing, and there was a big insurance job behind it, whatever. But in the weeks following it, they interviewed some of the locals, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they were just supposedly normal local people who went to that pub all the time, and it was such a terrible reflection on because the people weren't grade A, at the best of times. But if you hadn't seen them and you could just hear them, you would think, what the fuck is that place?
No, they weren't the Black Country's kind of brightest and best talents, were they? But even so, if you just got Gen Pop, say if this happened in somewhere down south, like Hertfordshire or something, and you just got local Gen Pop to kind of talk about it.
Just the locals who go to the pub.
They would just come across as normal.
Yeah.
But because they're Brummie, it's just funny, isn't it?
Well, they
just sound so kind of earnest and whingy, don't they?
It is just an inherently whingy accent. So if at any point you are actually whinging, it sounds like 30% worse than it actually is. So that's 2 reasons.
We'll both do a third. For my third reason, this sounds obvious and somewhat kind of stating fucking obvious, right? But it's shit because the Brummie accent people associate with Birmingham, which is also shit.
Yeah, so there's an association.
There's a double whammy there, right? Yeah. So they don't like the sound of your voice because it's the Brummie accent, but then they remember you've got a Brummie accent because you're from Birmingham, which is shit.
Yeah, and then they associate the shitness of Birmingham with the shitness of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not great.
It's a two-pronged attack, really.
And mine's kind of linked to number 2, but you always sound unenthused. I always used to find this when I was giving lectures or anything in the corps. Everyone else would just be able to sound like they'd give their normal energy, and it would sound like they're not about to kill themselves. When I was when I was a bit nervous or whatever, then as soon as you project or trying to project something, the Brummie accent just sounds so unenthusiastic. It's like you have to give an extra 50% of energy and intensity to actually come across half passionate about anything.
I've struggled with this my whole life.
Yeah.
Because I'm quite blunt.
Dour.
I'm quite a dour individual anyway. But so the fact that I'm also kind of burdened with like a Brummie or a Black Country accent, it just doubles down on the fact
it just
that
compounds.
Yeah.
Which is not great for delivering stuff.
No, but it's annoying. You are right. It is annoying because that is just my usual tone. So people that know me know that I'm not, being unenthusiastic.
Yeah.
But to people that aren't familiar with kind of my shtick, basically, they do just think I'm a dour bastard.
Yeah. I actually was. This is funny. Today, so I don't know if you know on TikTok when you posted a year ago, it'll go like a year ago posted. I was on today and I clicked on it, and it was a thing when I was living like my Solihull life, and I was obviously PTing in a gym with loads of posh cunts, right, basically, and my accent is so different. I'm like super posh. I don't know if you noticed this when I came back.
Not really.
Random bits. But I was like, I don't know whether I'm doing it for the camera or whatever it is, but obviously you take on the accent of the people around you.
Yeah, it's like a simulation.
No one in Solihull has a really, really strong Brummie accent. And if they have, they've grown out of it because they have to. Because they sound posh and sound like they fit in.
I like the idea that I've facilitated your accent relapse.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's just it's like you say, you get a simulation, don't you? So I think I'm somewhere in the middle now. I'm not like I was when I was 18, when it was super strong, when I went to Halzone in college and all the rest of it.
Which is where I still am.
Yeah, but I've lived everywhere, haven't I? So it kind of mellows out a little bit. I always get told I'm pretty neutral by most people.
Yeah, I'm a lot more broader than you, I think.
Mind you, some people we know who, like my sister, says that when she listens to the podcast, she can't tell the difference between us. Which is mental.
That's not ideal for a podcast of 2 people if you can't distinguish either
it's just
voice.
A monologue. If you're not watching,
it's like, fucking hell, has this bloke got schizophrenia or something?
Thinks he's been in the call. Go on.
Next question, right. What's been the best part of summer 2023?
Ooh, shit. Didn't prepare for this one. Do you want to go first? Have you got something?
Yeah, so I've jotted some rough points. So I've got 2 basically.
Okay.
So obviously the interraiding trip was fucking
as a
mint.
whole,
but specifically that like 24-hour period in Prague, not the one that you're thinking about. the shooting and the shooting and the football, like that little 24-hour period, that was class.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was a good 20, and obviously there was a fucking few beers sandwiched in between those 2 activities as well.
Yeah, there's been a lot. I was thinking this because we did quite a lot from. Pretty much from the marathon onwards, really. Every weekend doing bits and bobs.
If you're kind of stretching the truth, you could also include the marathon.
It's not summer, that lad.
It's spring.
The marathon was fantastic. I actually had a call just before this with someone who's hopefully going to come on board, but he's training for London 2024. And I was like, I'm fucking jealous because it's such a class day.
I know.
Experience.
I entered the ballot, didn't I?
I know, and I never did, so I shot myself in the foot. But yeah,
I think just all the races and competitions and events we've done.
Yeah,
because we've done quite. So we've done Athex, we did Tough Mudder, we did the Worcester 10K.
Went to IFS. We did
Snowdon.
Yeah, we did that grenade event ages ago.
Yeah, fucking hell, we're basically pretty much doing it every weekend.
This is what I've aimed to do, and we will do a roundup of the year, I think, at the end of the year.
We've got to. Well, that's going to have to be a piss up.
Yeah,
because we'll do it at Christmas, and we'll coincide it with the Christmas Eve pub crawl or something.
Yeah, we'll do that. So you are going to get a more elongated, in-depth sort of points of the year, but I think the interraiding for me as well, and I think. It's hard to beat that Prague 24 hours, isn't it? Because the rest of it was class as well. But I mean, like you say, we sandwiched so much into that 24-hour period. There was like the shooting, the football, and then that night out, which was we went to that like underground.
Yeah,
bar. That was that night, wasn't
the
it?
James Dean bar.
Yeah,
like the 50s themed diner. But then underground is like a nightclub.
Yeah. So we decided to go to a diner. Out of all places, and because you're in Prague, this diner just turns into a fucking mad club. So
it's weird though, because like you come up because it's obviously underground. It's fucking roasting once everyone's in there.
Yeah.
So you'll come up at like midnight or something, and there's still people scranning like American style burgers.
It's like
and
stuff. 5 Guys upstairs.
Yeah,
and then you go down, it's mental. So that was really cool, and that was that entire day. So yeah, I'd probably chalk it up to that as well. But like you say, all the events we've done and stuff have been quality as well.
Question number 3: what's our go-to supplement brand?
My protein, I guess.
But whichever's fucking cheapest, basically.
So, what's this then? I don't know. This is just a shape, but
I don't really have any loyalties.
No, it's all the same shit, basically.
Yeah, like whey protein, bar the actual flavourings that go into whichever flavour you get. Is whey protein.
This is
the same way that
people.
Like creatine monohydrate.
He's always creatine.
It's creatine monohydrate. You're just basically paying for packaging.
Yeah, and I to a point, I think there's obviously that Informed Sport website which I try and adhere to, which is obviously supplements that are tested.
There's loads on that
protein.
Website,
yeah, Protein Works is pretty good.
Yeah, like unless you go like proper fucking underground to find your supplements, chances are they'll be on like the Informed Sports website.
I think there are some big ones that aren't on. I'm not sure if Optimum Nutrition's on. I don't know. You have to check, but generally for me, if they're on that website, I'll take them. But yeah, like you say. For things like whey protein and creatine, everything's the same. Electrolytes, Element's the best one we've found, isn't it, really?
I am quite fiercely loyal to Element electrolytes, just because they're the only ones I've found with like a fucking big hit of sodium each.
Yeah, March on was good, but you're too sweet for you, isn't it?
Too sweet, and also doesn't quite deliver on that sodium.
It's like 500, isn't it?
Yeah, it's half the amount of Element.
Don't know whether Element's.
It's still pretty good because like you get like those tablet. Like electrolyte in fucking inverted commas.
They're like 200, aren't
they? Yeah, they're fucking peanuts.
I don't know. I always think that Element might be overkill if you're not doing like super hard fizz. If you're not doing like marathons and stuff, maybe for every day it might be overkill. I don't know. We'll find out when we're having kidney operations at 50 years old.
Stay tuned. That'll be a shame if our first episode that we miss on the Brummie Brothers because I'll have a fucking kidney transplant.
Yeah, it's just me in the hotel with the hospital next year.
And I'm yellow.
Jaundice. Yeah, go on. Next Quezzy.
I couldn't work out whether this was framed as a Royal Marines question or a fitness question.
Okay, we'll go for it anyway.
How do you carry over the discipline showed in training into other areas of life?
Okay. Well, answer it from training, as in like normal training. I think.
See, this is a hard one for me to answer because I don't distinguish between kind of like the rest of my life and training.
It's all one.
They are one and the same thing.
Yeah, true.
So like the attitude that I go into life with is the attitude that I train with.
I think that's what they mean though. Which one came first, if you like? Did you build that through training, that attitude to
100%, yeah, because we all know it's well documented that I used to be a sack.
Yeah, there you go. So that's what I think that's what they're on about. So like the habits and behaviours and disciplines you showing up to the gym every day, working hard in that environment, and then ultimately reaping the rewards from that. You just put into other areas of life like business and stuff like that, and hopefully inputs become outputs.
Well, I guess in that case, it's the same as being disciplined with everything. You've got to start small and build, haven't you?
Yeah, I think
it's not. Rome wasn't built in a day.
That's one thing. I think for me, the lesson of consistency is the big thing. So obviously, with anything, you can't get anywhere without consistency. But it's pronounced in fitness. If you're not consistent, you're getting fucking nowhere. And so it shows you when you do commit to go in every 5 days a week, every week or whatever. It shows you that effort and that investment actually gets you somewhere. And so if you carry that over into other facets of life and you say, okay, well, I'm going to I always try and use an example that isn't fucking business, but for example, I'm going to write an email every day for 7 days a week. You might not see the return on that immediately, but if you continue on it for like a year, 2 years, you might then see a return. So it's about like delayed gratification and discipline, I think, and consistency, because there's that inverted commas muscle of showing up every day, and you get that only by doing it. And so now for me and you, it's just a thing that we just go to the gym now, isn't it? We don't think about it. We don't have to. There's no discipline involved really, because it's just part of life. But it wasn't always like that, and it's not like that for other parts of life. So you have to kind of look at it through the same lens, in that you start with a managed expectation and you start slow, and then you build, like you say, over time. But you also commit to doing it a certain amount of times a week, every week, without fail.
I can't be asked to say anything profound, so that'll do. I'm in a silly mood.
Yeah.
So. You can.
I'll
do
be the profound one.
You can do it all. You love all that anyway, because you got all that wanky business jargon that you started using.
Yeah, we like that. Yeah. So everyone look forward to that bit.
Is there anything that you do differently about your PT careers?
Between the both of us.
Yeah, but have you got any regrets, effectively?
From my PT career?
Mine is that I didn't start doing it sooner, to be honest.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think mine was necessary to do it when I did, because of experience gained in the core. The thing is, mistakes you make in PT are always mistakes you're going to learn from. Certainly if you're training people in person or one-to-one, like, you're going to make... Because it's just like passing your driver's test, passing your PT qualification. You've got the qual on paper, but you haven't got any experience. You're not actually a good driver or a good trainer. So you have to learn through making mistakes and through stalling every now and then in the driving example, or through, over prescribing exercise sometimes, and the client's like, fucking hell, it's a bit much, and you're like, okay, well, with the first session with a newbie, I'm not going to do 4 sets, I'm going to do 3 sets. So it's like you learn through experience. That's why everyone you speak to will always say, just start and get the sort of hours where the beginner hours, get them out of the way and do them before you even think about doing anything else, because you'll make loads of mistakes and learn from that, and you can draw on that experience.
Yeah, you've got to earn your stripes, basically. So the sooner you get into it,
the
sooner you can start learning and developing effectively.
Yeah, exactly. And get your qual as soon as you can, through whatever means you can, and then go and actually coach, because that's when you're going to learn stuff.
On the flip side, though, if I hadn't done all the things I had done up to this point, I probably wouldn't now appreciate what I'm doing so much.
True.
So you've got to look at it that way.
Yeah, well,
because if it was just the norm, I could take it for granted.
Yeah,
but now that I've had
normal jobs,
the normal 9 to 5 public sector job, and I know that I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
It makes this all the more sweeter.
Yeah, true. It's all about perspective, isn't it? You wouldn't have that perspective to look back on if you were just, just thrust straight into a job you kind of enjoyed with a bit of freedom and stuff like that. You don't appreciate it because you've always associated that with that, but that's just what happens.
Yeah.
Which is why I think a lot of people who are thrust into influencer fame, for example, who just get given loads of freedom and loads of money, aren't always the happiest people because they haven't got a lived experience to look back on and think, actually, this is fucking a lot better than when I was working in wherever before. I'm now just like, I've been from school and I'm just going to continue this not growing up effectively, and I can just do what I want. But they probably don't appreciate it 100% because they haven't worked properly in a normal job.
Top 3 things on your bucket list.
This is a good question. I saw this one, but I didn't think about it, which is good.
I could only think of 2, to be honest. It's not really a thing I ponder much, bucket list.
I think it's cool to think about. I haven't written one, so I certainly don't write one for like, this is what I want to do before I die. I write goals and stuff I want to achieve in like the next year or the next couple of months.
That's the same as me. I'm a man of very simple means. I don't really have kind of like big picture dreams. Like I'm quite easily pleased.
True. Would you have what are you two?
Travel and live in a different country, but brackets good quality of life.
Okay, yeah.
So I'd like to be able to do it my way, effectively.
What's your way?
Not backpacking.
Okay.
Effectively.
So you mean like fully relocate, as in?
So they're not the same thing. So like I would like to travel, and then I would also like to live in a different country. So they're separate things, but both I would like to do to the standard that I see fit.
Okay.
Effectively.
Cool.
So not backpacking, not getting by on like
50p a week.
Yeah, because we've said this before. So this goes back to like our interrailing episode. This kind of we saw behind the curtain when we went interrailing, didn't we? Because you hear people come back, and everyone knows that person that went backpacking, and they come back and they're like, oh yeah, it was so enlightening.
Yeah.
But then it turns out what they've actually done, without telling you, is just wrap in a hostel for 2 years.
Yeah.
Because they can't afford to actually do or see anything.
Yeah, I think it turns out things cost money, and the most of their money is spent getting from place to place. When they get to the place, they can't do fuck all.
Yeah.
Generally. Not that, you shouldn't go travelling or whatever, because there's ways to do it. I think if you're just going and expecting to live off whatever money you've taken with you, it's probably a bit naive if you're going for a load of time.
You're going to have to work at some point.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're going to go, you're going to have to think about, where do I want to stay for a period of time? Do I want to work in like a coffee shop for like 3 months or whatever? So my sister's a good example. Like, she travelled for ages before she's now settled-ish, but she's in Mexico, but she's settled. But she travelled and moved around forever, but she always had stints where she was working in, doing like admin in places or working in coffee shops or whatever, and that allows you to work and live in the place you want to be. So if you want to live in Sydney, you can't just live there with no job, because it's fucking expensive. It's like living in London with no job. So you have to live and work and just live like a local, effectively. So you use your weekends and your evenings to go and do stuff. But I think that's the way to do it. If you're going to take a year, be prepared to go and work, because you're not going to be able to see anything and enjoy anything if you're not.
To be fair, we managed to kind of do it on a micro scale with interrailing, but obviously that was only for 3 weeks.
3 weeks though, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's peanuts,
we
really.
were playing, we were like 3-4 days in each place. You can't see much. And we did well, but we were only in cities. If you remember, if you're trying to do countries like fucking Thailand and Australia, you can't do that in a couple of weeks.
It's mental. And I now have this fantasy of living in America as well.
Yeah,
and listening to the Eagles in a pickup truck.
Yeah, so you dangle this carrot in front of me, and now it's all I can think about. So,
I said it in passing because a TikTok came up on my for you page of this guy who restores like old kind of like American pickups. So they're class, and he's just like driving them around like modern day America somewhere in the south, like blasting kind of like dad rock. And I was like, I could have a bit of that.
Yeah.
And I'd just drive from air-conditioned building to air-conditioned building because I hate the sun. But we don't dwell on that. And then I mentioned it to you, just in passing, and now it's rent-free.
Yeah.
Because you've latched a lot of attachment onto that, haven't you?
Yeah, now my internet history is strictly Austin rentals.
Yeah.
So what is that? That your first one? What's your second
See Liverpool win a cup final live.
Oh, fantastic! That's a great one.
That's the closest one I can get to like kind of
Dreamy.
what you would deem like a kind of a dreamy bucket list.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
To be in the stadium when Liverpool win a trophy would be unreal.
That would be sick. I think even just being, even like a higher echelon Champions League game, not necessarily winning, but like a quarter final, semi final, final, be awesome, man. The European nights in any stadium really would be class, but Anfield's next level.
Yeah, European night. Anfield
Yesterday would have like so we're speaking about the PSG
Newcastle game.
That would have been unbelievable because St James's Park is notorious for its atmosphere anyway.
That would have looked sensational.
Yeah, it would have
on
been
TV. Absolute scenes. That's
and
kind of what
they beat him 4-0.
That reignited my love for football a bit because I've been a bit down with football at the moment with the ongoing farce that is VAR.
Yeah, which we covered last week.
And just the general fucking, I don't know, just it's all a bit immature, isn't it? Football, like you watch other sports, it's all like, lo and behold, professional. Yeah. And then for some reason, professional football,
they can't get it right.
Which has got the most money of most professional sports. They can't get anything right.
And the footballers, the players themselves are shit as well. Like,
yeah,
they in terms of like the character and persona that compared to other sportsmen are shit.
And they're not the brightest and best, are they?
No, exactly. They're just talented, effectively.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, the Newcastle thumping PSG, who were fucking pony, by the way. Yeah. Reignited my love for football a bit. So thank you, the fucking Toon Army.
My two would potentially be. It's a bit of a fucking cliche one, but I think financial freedom, whatever that means, is something I'd like, and not meaning like being tied to a fucking job in finance, or like.
Well, I'm touching on the same thing with mine. Really, that's kind of what I'm getting at. To be honest, isn't it?
Yeah,
really, because you need financial freedom to do that.
True. Well, I guess you could do that on a little bit. Financial freedom is the ability to never worry about money, isn't it? I guess.
Well, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, Sam. Well, I want to live abroad as well. I think. I've been thinking increasingly recently, especially since you mentioned Austin, that the situation we've got ourselves in with being able to earn online is now wasted if we just stay in the West Midlands of England. Because as we said, it's shit, and it's not that bad, but it's
it is shit.
But it's not the best place in the world, and the fact is we could pretty much live within reason in a lot of places. So I feel like increasingly like that's a waste. But anyway, that's one. I think skydiving is always one I've wanted to do. I've never done that in my life.
I nearly put skydiving, and I thought it was a bit cliche.
Well,
and also, is it a bucket list thing? Because we could do it next weekend.
True, that's true. Well, should we do it? No, I've never done it, and I thought during the call I would do it, and my sister did it before me, so I was fuming. So I want to do that. But
wait, so whoa, we need to unpack this, right? So you thought that you'd go skydiving, in the Corps, So you joined the Corps, and not the parachute regiment.
Yeah, the parachute regiment generally actually don't jump that much.
Clue is in the name though.
No, but I thought just on like, insertions into places, you would fucking get out there. At least I thought you'd train on it.
You're aquatic lad, you're the Marines, you're wet. You're not airborne.
I guess so.
You got flippers, not shoots.
Yeah, but I don't know. Even so, SFSG do it, and that's part that you can go through that route. But it's like Jay's done his. But yeah, that'd be something I want to do. I did join thinking I would at least, because it's just something you associate with the military, I think. Isn't it?
That's the great thing about being a Walt, though, because you can just create your own career.
Yeah, well, if I was a certain storeman, I'd just tell everyone, that I'd just tell everyone that I've been parachuting to Afghan.
That's the great thing, because you've jumped everywhere in your mind.
Yeah,
but other people don't know that.
Well, while you're signing kit out in the store, in somewhere down south, what you can do is curate quite a detailed picture of what you've done in the military. So it's pretty cool.
You are literally Walter Mitty, because instead of sorting out like Polaroids in like Time magazine in their basement, he's in the store basement of a quite well-known barracks in central London. So, like you said, signing out kids, curating his own delusions.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I wonder. I'd like to see his works. It'd be interesting. I can't wait to see when he comes up with Nick. Anyway,
I'd like to know if he's blocked me. No, he's not. He's blocked you.
He hasn't. No, he's unblocked me.
Oh, is he blocked? Yeah, right. Okay, maybe turn a new leaf.
Yeah.
If you were 70 years old and you could only pick 3 exercises to do, what would they be? I didn't really know how to approach this. Does it mean that if we're 70 and we can only do, as in like physically we're only able to do 3, which ones would you pick?
Probably.
Or like you get to 70 and you can only pick 3 for the rest of, like, beyond that?
I think the first one. I think. So...
You got to be strategic here.
Yeah, because you want them to be ROI positive.
Yeah. So curls, tricep extensions, and
pension with massive arms.
Yeah.
And fucking no legs. I don't know. Because what do you go for? Do you go for enjoyment, or do you go for the fact that it's going to prolong your health span?
I went health span.
Okay.
So I did walking. Because obviously
that's not an exercise. That's not
it
a
is.
movement, though, is it?
It is. Walking's a movement.
Walking. Wasted one there.
Cycling. Low impact cardio.
Okay.
So I need to be able to walk to be mobile to get about day to day. Cycling's my zone 2, low impact.
Okay.
And then squatting again because it's functional.
Okay.
Not necessarily with weight, but like the actual, just the movement of a squat. Getting off the shitter.
Yeah.
Getting out of bed.
I'm gonna go step ups. I think if you can do step ups, you're in a fucking good place at 70. I would go cycling as well.
I was going to say swimming, but then I thought I'd be a fraud because I can't swim now. So
yeah.
the chances of me learning when I'm 70 are pretty slim.
Yeah, that's true. And some sort of posterior chain stuff. So, you know,
shagging.
Yeah, I know. If you could, no, again, literally though. That's
if you can still pump your missus.
No, that's what I'm actually thinking.
Or husband.
Some hip extension, so that you can still shag.
That's a absolutely grotesque thought.
What? Be great. Imagine being able to shag when you're 70, lad. That's the goal, isn't it?
Can't shag now, so that's a pipe dream.
Yeah. My hinge will be going off when I'm 70, though. Yeah, either the hip thrust or the Romanian deadlift, I think. That'd be cool. So I'd do step up. What was the second one I said?
About like a sumo deadlift.
I can't do that now. Fucking I hate that now.
I was just thinking about the range of motion.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely deadlift because it starts at the top. It's not too bad, is it?
Yeah, I guess.
But normal deadlift.
They're all a variation on the theme anyway.
Yeah, they're all hip extension, aren't they? So yeah, that.
They're very boring answers, but I mean, what can you say to that? Because like you said, you don't want to be curling when you're 70, do you? No. You're not going to be able to retain any
muscle.
You're not going to be able to retain any muscle mass anyway. So
no, exactly. So you may as well go for function.
Yeah.
I think the step up's the number one thing, to be honest. Something single leg so you can fucking walk downstairs.
Oh, this is an interesting one. Opinions on the fear of running ruining your joints.
Ooh. So
it's a myth for a start.
Yeah. It depends whether you're going to go from 0 to fucking running an ultra marathon. Then yes, it will ruin your joints. The humans are built to run, believe it or not. You know, we fucking.
So it's all like you said. So it's about doing it in moderation or conditioning yourself to it, and it's about giving yourself ample recovery time and doing it with proper form.
Yeah, and having the right kit.
As long as you do all those 3 things, it's not going to ruin your joints.
No, exactly. The biggest thing being if you build up slowly, because again, like anything, if you overload too soon, you're going to get injured. It's like if you had never squatted and you went and put 3 plates on the bar, you'd probably get injured.
I was just about to say, that's like saying to someone who's never squatted, try 180, them folding in the rack and like rupturing their spleen, and then going, oh well.
Yeah, not for everyone, is it?
Not for everyone, that is it.
Squatting's not for everyone, mate. That's not the case. They just need to start with 40 kilos and then work their way up. Same with you. You need to start with 3 kilometres and then work your way up. Swallow your ego a little bit. Stop looking at fucking Kipchoge's marathon time. Everyone
falls foul of this, including myself.
And me.
If you stop running for a bit and you get back into it, you immediately want to go back to the state that you left yourself at.
Yeah, marathon training for me. It's plaguing me now. I ran 4 miles this morning at like 8:30, and I was like, this is terrible. It felt long, it felt difficult, it felt effortful. I was saying, in our prep, our shortest run was 7 miles.
Yeah, I'd come back from work on a Wednesday, like in the winter, and it would be dark, it'd be wet, it'd be raining, and I'd just bang out a 9-mile run. Because it was just, I just knew I had to do it, and because I was so conditioned to it, like it was kind of like a bit of, not water off a duck's back, but like it was just
that 9 mile was never really that difficult. I don't remember it being.
No, because it was like an easy pace, wasn't it?
It was, but it was
just about getting miles in.
But the long run was always the one was like, oh, a bit shit, because it's the one you haven't touched that distance before. But we did a 7 and 9 and a long, generally. And now if I run 3 or 4, I'm like, that's just long, isn't it? But it's not, is it? I used to be able to just bang them out. But yeah, you're right. You always will compare yourself, but it's not going to ruin your joints. We've ran fucking hundreds of miles this year, and my joints are sweet, mate.
And I'm a heavy fuck, and I'm still moving.
Yeah, look at fucking Russ Cook. There his name is.
Yeah, well, he's doing
running 60k a day.
60k a day for the past 160 days.
And he's not broken yet.
And he's sweet, mate.
He's not broken yet, and so I'm pretty sure your body can handle it's 5k a week.
No, yeah, that was like you said originally, like your opening statement. We are designed to run. It's just that people nowadays don't do much running. So when they try and get into it, they overdo it, and then therein lies the problem.
And there's the added virtue of social media now. So when you are going to start running, our mate being a case in point, your algorithm will just be runner, who's running 100 mile a week, 80 mile a week, whatever. So you feel like your 2 or 3 mile a week is fuck all. But they all started where you started, but they've just been running for 10 years.
Yeah, what you're forgetting is that they're now a running influencer because they've been running for years and are good at it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So it's probably not wise for you to compare yourself to them when you've just started out running and have only achieved a 3k.
Yeah, compare yourself to last week's you, and then you'll be in a good place. And if you keep doing that and keep building on last week's you, then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Not the bloke that's running the entire length of Africa.
Yeah.
Probably fucking slightly out your league at this moment in time.
At this stage.
Right, okay, let's get back to silly now because there's far too much educational value in that answer there.
Yeah, exactly.
Which animal do you think you could beat in a fight?
Is this... we can't list all of them, right? So we've got to we'll change the question. The biggest animal you think you could
beat
in a fight?
This is hard.
This is difficult.
So again, I'll try to do this strategically.
We're going like biggest as in like height or weight.
So this is so I tried to think of like big animals as in like they take up a lot of surface area that are quite wet.
There's not many of them.
There's still not many. No, because like the best one I could think of in history was the dodo, and it went extinct exactly for that reason because it was big
and it couldn't scrap.
It couldn't scrap. It was easy to kill because there was so much meat to it. It tasted nice.
Yeah, and also, do we have weapons, or is it just?
Nah, I don't think that's a cop out. Because because if I had a fucking assault rifle,
I mean,
could
like
kill anything. You know what I mean?
You're not a fucking marksman, by the way.
Well, I was thinking about this. So, like, if you had, there's so many different avenues that you could pursue this from.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say, go on, name an animal that you'd like to beat in a fight.
A lemur.
Right. Okay. Right, that's a fucking shit now. Let's do a tiger, right?
Tiger.
Or a lion, a king of the jungle, right? So I reckon you got a 3-pronged attack, right?
On a tiger?
Yeah. Hear me out, right? Okay.
Oh,
so first of all, you got dead chat.
Right.
So you could just drop a one-line on it and kill it with that.
Yeah.
Like, pretend it's a bird, right? Drop some Tinder game.
Yeah.
Right. If not, you could use your armchair BJJ.
Yeah.
And like when he's jumping for you, with his like 3-inch claws or something, in your mind you've just folded him in half.
Yeah.
Whether he actually mauls your face or not, it's irrelevant because in your mind he's in a knot, mate.
Nah, he only works with other armchair fans, so he doesn't work with.
And there's also you can lean on all your SF knowledge. So being a Walt, all that jungle face training that you did, you probably killed loads of times.
I thought you could come at this from your. From your extensive experience in the RAF Reg.
Yeah.
So,
well, the thing is, right, you got the question you got to answer. How many tigers can do the 5 miles?
That's what I'm about to say. So, short of being able to beat them in a fight, right? You could just outrun them.
Yeah.
With your 5 mile of death.
How many rhinos have got a 5 mile of death in them?
How many rhinos can stand toe to toe with the Marines in the Paras? I mean,
in the bar.
Fucking not many, mate.
No.
You've earned that right.
Exactly, mate.
So I feel like you could probably just outrun them and then...
That's actually a neglected point. You know that bloke who said you can stand toe to toe with the Marines and Paras in the bar? Should have also added that you'd probably be able to scrap a rhino at the end of it.
Yeah, I think he got the lads fired up enough though. He was leaving that for mile 2.5.
Yeah, he was saving that for one of the other tests.
Yeah, we actually got him on next week, so tune for that.
Like the level 5 on the bleep test that they have to get him over.
Yeah, you'd know. Yeah, I think I don't know. I think you're underestimating if you got like an animal backed up against in the corner, he'd fuck you up, mate. Most of them.
I think what you've got to do is you've got to think which animal suits itself to be beaten up by a human.
Yeah.
So you want something with like low ground clearance, I reckon, because your best weapon is a kick. I think like a wombat or something. I could get a good fucking swing on a wombat with my right peg.
Yeah, do you reckon you could get a little knuckleball on a wombat? Yeah.
Straight over fucking Ayers Rock, mate. Like a Ronnie knuckleball.
Yeah, that is probably the size you're looking at. Because then you get I mean,
I can't believe the level of detail that we're going into. You've turned into the Joe Rogan podcast.
So, when you look at anything that's like a wild cat, you fucked, mate. So anything like a panther or anything over, that's not. That's
I think what we're looking at is we're looking at the megafauna of Australasia here.
Mm.
So like Australasia is unique in the fact that it has a lot of kind of like plump marsupials that are pretty fucking tame. So I'm thinking about koalas here as well.
I've held a koala and you could smash shit out of that. But however,
were you tempted when it was on you? Like I could, you give him the eyes. I could fucking have you here, son.
He backed down. No, what I was going to say though is, if they did get a scratch on you, they're giving you chlamydia. So you might beat it, but it might have, it's fucked with your sexual partners for the next couple of years, which is
true. That's kind of an afterthought though, because I mean, like once you've pummeled it into the ground, like you've kind of won there.
You have won.
Chlamydia is a bit of an afterthought.
He's put a after banger on you there, hasn't he?
I mean, I've probably already got chlamydia in fairness. So
you're a shagged, haven't you?
You're shagged a koala. That's my issue. That's my issue. I scrapped it because he wasn't keen, but I got my way in the end.
Right. That's good.
Out of interest, do you want to know the two that I jotted down earlier?
Yeah, go on.
This was I'd worked for a long time at this point. I was really low on fucking cognitive function.
Yeah.
Right? Number 1, anteater.
Fucking hell.
Number 2, a human sack.
Right.
So a human, but I caveated it by saying a sack of a human.
So what's the...
Because technically we are animals. So you could just find a really kind of fat human who weighs like 40 stone and can't actually fight back.
And just pick him off.
Effectively just do kind of like your weekly zone 4, but running around him and then occasionally you fucking jab him.
Yeah, you give him a little 1-2. I think you're probably underestimating how much... if he grabbed hold of you and like put some weight on you, you'd probably be fucked.
No, I'm talking about like people
can't move.
I'm talking about the people that Steve Miller used to bother on Fat Families.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like big...
He's trapped in a body of lard.
Big blubber whales.
Yeah, so I think that's probably
your best bet. Because in the animal kingdom, if
everyone's
an animal...
mobile.
Exactly, because otherwise natural evolution would pick them off.
Yeah, because they could, at the very least, lunge for your eyes or something, So you're probably best with an immobile human.
Yeah, basically. Unless you found a zoo where they'd overfed like a panda or something. Oh, what about panda?
I feel like a panda's probably a bit savage if it gets its back up.
Deprive it of bamboo or something.
Yeah. Have you heard? This is a side note. Have you heard about chimpanzees?
They can rip your face off.
And the rest. They go for causing max pain. You heard about this? They like snap your fingers off and like reach for your dick and shit. It's mental.
So they evolved to know like
because they're so similar to us. They know what fucking hurts, and they'll hold real grudges as well. So there's been cases where like zookeepers have gone in and fed one of the others or whatever and ignored the one and not thinking anything of it. Then the next time they come in, they remember this zookeeper's fucked them off, or, like chinned them off, or whatever, and they attack them.
I've heard horror stories of chimpanzees like ripping people's faces off.
Yeah, they like grab at your fucking grid and your fingers and your genitals and all this shit, and they just rip them off, mate. It's mental. But there was a video that went viral not long ago where it was like a cage bars, and this zookeeper was stood a bit too close, and they just grab through, and because they've got like hands, they can propagate.
They've got
it,
like they've got mental strength, haven't they, chimpanzees?
Oh, yeah,
so if they
no
latch
way.
onto you,
There's
you're
no way.
fucked, mate.
Yeah, you'd be fucked.
It's like when a dog locks onto you with its jaws, mate. If it fucking locks on,
Yeah,
you're there for the long haul.
that's it. I mean, yeah, you haven't, I guess, but those
Actually, I reckon I could beat up an XL bully.
no, you couldn't.
Mate, there's one on our estate, right? I don't
Is
know if
there?
you've clocked it. Yeah, they walk it when I do my fucking morning walk. It's fucking massive, mate. I haven't seen one in the flesh before.
Imagine that.
I
chasing
fucking
you down,
mate, I crossed the road. It's fucking
What's
massive.
that gonna fucking do? He just fucking chase after
Right,
you.
mate. Well, has he got a 5 mile of death in him? That's what questions I'm always asking
So
myself.
he's got a lot of muscle mass. He'll probably fatigue quite quickly.
Yeah, not built like me.
Spindle pin.
Built different.
Right. Anyway, next question.
Easy one. Are you doing a Hyrox anytime soon? Yes, in early November in Amsterdam.
4th of November. We combined it with an Amsterdam send, so it's not all bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. We're
Maybe we should do it on psychedelics. That would add a whole new dynamic to Hyrox.
Yeah. Post red light district.
No, that's on the night afterwards. Jokes. Having been to Hamburg, I've now seen what red light districts have to offer. And it's not for me.
It's not pretty, mate. It's fucking horrendous.
What I will do though is drink a lot of alcohol in the red light district after Hyrox.
And laugh at people who are frequenting those,
And
those windows.
what you do is you get eyes on a particular window.
Yeah.
Just because
see who frequents it. See who's
because
regular.
Because what you do is you get people that eyed up. They'll do like a fucking recce, and then they'll do the next footbridge across and back on themselves. And then if there's still no one in there, then they'll dot. They never go straight in.
My favourite is the stag do lads who obviously it's taboo, isn't it? If you're with a stag do and you sneak off, but you always see like someone who's been on a stag do and cut away from the group to go and get his end away in the window.
Yeah, he's shaking the lads off.
We're going for some scram, lads. And fucking goes and gets his end away and then comes back in.
Quick 5-minute job, and then he has to fucking grab a rollover hot dog so it looks like he's actually been for scram.
Yeah, and he's actually just €40 down.
Yes, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. There'll be some decent dits off that weekend, I guess. We'll do a little Hyrox debrief, I guess.
Debrief, yeah. Favourite beverage? Didn't specify soft
alcoholic.
We'll do both.
Yeah. Favourite
soft
alcoholic beverage?
Favourite soft drink? San Pellegrino mineral water, mate.
That's the gayest answer ever, isn't it?
Name a better drink.
There's
probably so many.
There is. I would go with Five Guys milkshake. Fantastic. Specifically, the the Biscoff and Oreo one.
See, I'm with you there, but is a milkshake a drink?
Well, you drink it, then.
Well, it's a milkshake, isn't it?
Right.
Milkshakes occupy like a grey area between food and drink, I think.
Yeah, but
you can have it.
But if you get
this
milk,
time, but just bear it in mind for next time.
You got milk in the title. You drink milk, don't you?
Yeah, but like you use milk to make fucking lasagna.
Yeah, but when it's in lasagna, it's no longer fucking milk, is it?
Yeah, but is milk still milk when it's in a milkshake?
Yeah, because you drink milkshakes. You have a straw, mate. You can't.
Well, okay, but there's milk. There's milk in ice cream, but is it a drink then?
I think if you consume it with a straw, it can be a drink. As in, you couldn't really consume lasagna through a straw, could you?
Fucking.
You
For the purpose of this argument, I'm going to try.
No, that milkshake would be number one, and then alcoholic.
It's context specific.
Definitely. You like a rum and coke, don't you?
Yeah, it's got to be a fucking double spiced rum and coke for me. Preferably Kraken.
I'm going to occupy the feminine space on this one.
If you say gin.
Yeah, whereas you went with sparkling water, so you were on that fence that time. I'm going to go with like a really feminine, really flavoured gin and lemonade. Fantastic. From a nice gin bar, and you've got like Parma Violet or rhubarb gin. I haven't had that in ages, but that is next level.
Very on brand, to be fair, with your naval history.
Yeah.
To be fair, you should like rum as well, though.
Ports make a navel in it.
Yeah.
But I'm not massive fan of that.
To be fair, loads of drinks are associated. So like
rum,
gin, port. I think the problem here is actually that sailors are piss cans.
Well, there's not much else to do on ship. You can't drink on shit, for the record. Yeah, I think that would be mine, or my two. Very different. I wouldn't like to combine them. The port's alright, but you have to have it straight, don't you? So it's like a...
Yeah, port's a shot, really. Well, not a shot, but it's something that you like sip.
Yeah, so you can't have it like a
It's like a fortified wine, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can't have it with a mixer.
It's like 40%, isn't it? 35, 40%.
Yeah, it's like 30, I think. It's not. There's probably something here we could check, but
I
I do sometimes forget we are in a bar.
Yeah, so do I. You don't drink anymore.
Yeah, because we're finished. Fine. There we go. Fine Ruby Port. It is.
There's some fucking in that box.
I know. Yeah. What? 19%. It's not that strong.
Oh, okay, it tastes strong. Yeah, so there's my two. What was your alcoholics rum?
Yeah, it's got to
Kraken.
be Boys Rum and Coke. Kraken.
Yeah. We haven't drank now for how long? Like 4 weeks?
Coming up to 4 weeks, yeah.
Strong,
built different, mate.
Yeah.
So the mentality that you develop on
the
RAF Reg.
superiority complex.
Yeah.
Yes, next one.
Worst club experience. Now, worryingly, I'm going to struggle to answer this one because I've had so many.
Yeah. Well, pretty much.
They're innumerable.
Well, every club night has some sort of experience that is bad. When I read this question, though, I did think of one thing specifically, which wasn't really in a club, but it was in like Spoons that was kind of a club.
In the club. It's not you throwing up down yourself, is it?
No. You can go first, though. Mine's about me getting fucking battered. You know this one, but I'll spin it.
Oh, right, okay. See, I've never had like I've never been in a scrap in a club or anything. So, like, in terms of...
You just always get threatened by getting glassed.
I get threatened to be glassed. We won't name names, but he backed down. Yeah. So I've not got any horror stories, really. It's me effectively making a tit of myself. Or... In fact, no, I'll just repeat myself. It's basically just me making a tit of myself.
Yeah.
We touched on
that a lot.
So we had some pretty tragic club experiences interrailing.
Oh yeah, well that's just...
But there's some horror stories of being out in Brumm.
That Berlin was fucking weird.
Yeah,
man.
the Berlin one was bad. Not bad as in like...
Scary.
It was just like...
Just terrible.
You think like you're out to enjoy yourself and then you wind up in this club and it's shit.
Yeah, we should have reassessed that.
I've had the shits in Snobs. That wasn't good.
Yeah,
That's probably my lowest point in a club, really.
Shitting in Snobs.
Glued to the pan for like an hour in Snobs.
With the lucky man going, "You're right, mate."
Yeah, and obviously, right, because like shitting isn't the done thing in a nightclub, is it? Because unless you've got the shits, chances are you're not going to fancy going to the John in a nightclub.
I'm surprised they even have them.
So if you spend more than about 2 minutes in a nightclub toilet...
They're thinking one thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People, they either think you're bagging off...
Yeah.
Or they think that you're fucking doing drugs. Or you've done drugs and that you fucking KO'd.
You were doing neither.
I was doing neither. So when I was attracting a lot of attention, it was like Will Mackenzie and the In-Betweeners. You know, when Donovan's over the cubicle taking photos, I'm just there like, I'm fucking shitting.
That's hilarious. I'd love to see those photos. That'd be fucking hilarious. So mine is, I was in Liverpool out with the lads from the Marines. I was just on a dance floor in a Spoons that turned into a kind of club thing. And this girl tapped me on the shoulder and was like, "Oh yeah, can you take a photo of me and my mates?" So I was like, "Yeah, cool." I had a phone. They were like gathering up, whatever. Take a photo. I obviously thought nothing of it. Fella, who I didn't know even existed at this point, was at the bar and obviously had craned round just to see me. That snapshot of me taking his missus' phone off her. Obviously thinking I'm trying to put my number in or something. That's what I think he thought. He's come sprinting over to me like pure Superman punched me in the back of the head. I was like, "Fucking hell!" And then I spun round. And I was a bit waved. I was fucked at this point. But it's about 7 o'clock. I've been drinking for about 8 hours. So I had no motor function at all. Just been smacked in the back of the head. I turned around to face him. And he hit me like 4 more times before one of my mates could come and like break it up. And then there was a big scrap in the middle of the dance floor. Anyway, my other pal, who's the aggressive one, should we say, came down like a fucking dog on heat.
He'd been waiting for this moment for years.
Yeah, exactly. He loves the idea of protecting his lads, but basically loves the idea of a scrap when he's had a few bevs. So he was
like
absolutely
an XL bully in human form.
Yeah, he was absolutely fuming when we were spilled outside. They'd gone the separate way, and we had to go the other way, and he was fucking like pure seething and kind of getting after him. But it was bad because it was like start of the night, and I had now a big black eye and a big split lip, and I had to try and then navigate a night out in Liverpool, trying to get into clubs. Which, you know, like Scouse bouncers are terrible anyway. Never let you in if you're not Scouse, really. And so now I wasn't Scouse, and I had a massive black eye. I looked like I'd been scrapping. I looked like I just had a fucking UFC fight. And that obviously just didn't go down very well.
Not tonight, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, I had a lot of that, so that was shit. But just the pure fucking angst of that bloke. It's clearly, he was like 0 to 10 aggression in no time at all. He's like didn't have time to come and ask what was going on. He immediately thought the worst. His missus must be a wronger.
It's mad that he's just seen that. I find it mental, right? And I'm quite lucky in this regard because I've been in knobhead in clubs and have managed to avoid getting beaten up, which is a miracle if I'm honest. Because I'm a twat when I've had a drink. Not in a bad way. I'm just. Not in like an aggressive way. I just know how to press people's buttons.
Nonchalant.
I'm very nonchalant, and I know I get a very quick understanding for how to kind of rub people up the wrong way. And when I'm drunk, I find that entertaining.
Yeah.
So that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Anyway, this bloke, right, has seen you take this bird's phone, right, and immediately, right, probably you would be angry. Like if you looked over the bar and saw...
If you were to interpret it that way, then yeah.
I think everyone's initial reaction would be kind of... Not necessarily anger, but I don't know. Disdain, right. But what he's done there, instead of digging a bit deeper or finding like, going over and questioning... Or
communicating, maybe.
What he's done, like you said, is he's gone straight into fifth gear and Superman punched you in the back of the head.
Yeah, which is fucking bizarre.
But if you actually unpack that for a second, right, he's immediately jumped straight to, he's trying to shag my missus.
Yeah.
But any amount of different scenarios could actually be going on.
I know, but he's just bypassed every other possibility and gone straight to, he's trying to pull. But it's the fact that he didn't even articulate anything. He didn't even shout or like go, "Oh, you dick," or whatever.
Or not even squared up to you.
No, straight to violence. And then
that's literally like fucking GBH.
Well, no, it's mental. We both got kicked out, weirdly enough, even though it was his fault, because one of my pals jumped in and fucking started to do some bits, but it was not a good time. Wandering around Liverpool with a fucking half bludgeoned face. Anyway, next.
That's pretty much it.
Is that all of them?
Yeah.
Sweet. Cool. Yes, a range of questions there. Anyway, so hopefully that.
Well, yeah, they weren't ordered in any particular way.
No,
they were just coming thick and fast.
Yeah, and we spent probably half the episode talking about how to beat up an XL bully, so that's good.
It's all valuable information. And if you're in doubt, if you ever think to yourself, like, I'm a bit weak, right, I'm not sure I'd be able to take on like an XL bully or a wombat. What you got to do, enlist yourself into the RAF Reg, and then get yourself through the 5 mile of death, and then you're good for anything, mate.
Yeah, this is very...
Because once you've instilled that kind of mentality, you can quite literally...
Well, it just takes you through your entire life, mate. And the only person that's actually going to do really anything more than you on the scale of in terms of like impressive things is that aforementioned Storman down south. So you can live safe in the knowledge, having done that RAF Reg 5 mile of death, that you are probably the second most nails person in the Corps.
What I think is going to happen, really, like now, because obviously we've got a new series of SAS Who Dares Wins, haven't we? I think what they're going to do now is, like, when the producers get savvy to it, because he's on the up, this Storman, by the way. They're probably going to phase like Billy Billingham and Foxy out, because they're a bit past it now, aren't they?
Yeah.
What they're going to do is
they only did like 20 years each.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's rookie numbers, isn't it? So what they're going to want to do is they're going to get this Storman, right, and they want to pair him with someone from the RAF Reg. And that's like the super group. That's like the military super group of your dreams, isn't it? That.
Yeah. And then they'll the viewing ratings will go up through the roof.
Exactly, mate. Because what they'll do
purely through like diversity quotas, because now they've got special needs on.
And also, right, if you think about it from Channel 4's perspective, they're not going to have to fly these blokes out to Thailand or Vietnam anymore, Because what you do is you just get them doing fizz in Hyde Park.
Yeah, it's true. So,
you know what I mean? So we'll wheel a rower out into Hyde Park or whatever. Or, we'll
use a little bit of baby oil and some low level nudity and a bit of like a running track potentially. That can be the promo anyway. And yeah, you're right. We'll just get them in white vests and we'll just thrash them around Hyde Park.
Exactly. SAS. Who dares stores? Coming to a screen near you.
Fucking SAS Hyde Park.
Anyway. Yeah. So we got to do the closing. Whoop. We got to do the closing segments now.
Yeah. For the two people who've made it this far.
Yeah.
Closing segments. Yes. So underrated, overrated. Bash. I'll go first. If you want.
Yeah, because it's either underrated.
You've charmed me.
Or it's overrated.
Well, that was fucking dreadful.
Yeah, because I think I've gone first the past few weeks.
Mine's well, it's related to last week, but I think it'd be interesting because we had very different experiences with it. So, underrated, overrated, higher education.
Ooh.
And I will say, obviously, it depends, but I think just from our...
It's very context specific. I think in the way that it's peddled in the UK, it's overrated.
Yeah.
I think through school, the default situation is that eventually you're going to end up in university. I think that's the wrong way to look at a child's development. I think it just should be a range of options instead of kind of like...
That's
the main goal, and then if you drop off from that, you get something not as good.
Yeah, it's like the perceived value of it, isn't it? Because that, like, actual value is probably not that high, but the perceived value you attach to it before, like in the years before that, is, like you say, that's the kind of number one goal, and anything else is secondary to that.
But I think that's obviously dangerous, because then for the people that go through higher education like I did, because they were told that, you know, you do get your degree, you come out, you get your cushy grad job, and then you'll be set for life. That's obviously not true.
It's not the case.
So you get a load of people coming out of uni fucking pissed off. Equally, the people that didn't get into uni for whatever reason or didn't fancy it, who go on to do apprenticeships or like get a vocation, like join the military, they were told all through education that if you don't go to uni, you're going to be a sack.
Yeah.
They actually realise that's not the case, and they most of the time, or a lot of the time, they actually go on to do bigger and better things than the people that went to uni.
Typically, they can kick on a bit further. I don't know. It gives you a little bit more of a head start as well, because you've obviously got 3 or 4 years in the workplace that's experience. What would you say? Would you say there's a regret of going and doing what you did specifically at university, undergrad, or no? Would you do the same thing going back? So if you were 18 again?
Yeah, so I'd change 2 things. So I wouldn't do fucking geography. Sounds obvious now, but for some reason I thought that was a good idea. I'd do a sports-related course, even though I didn't actually have any relative like GCSE or A-level qualifications, but there would have been a way around that, I would have thought.
Foundation year or something.
Yeah, foundation year. I would do a sports-related course, and I also would have lived at uni.
Nice, okay.
Because looking back now, what was the point in me doing an undergrad and living at home?
I did think this at the time. I know you save money. But I think the problem was...
Such a rookie mistake.
I know, the problem was that you went to... Well, 2 things. You hadn't discovered Bill Perkins yet.
Looking back, that is...
Number one thing, really.
Can't be emphasised enough. Yeah. I needed Bill Perkins in my life.
Yeah, he hadn't actually come to the fruition yet, so... I mean, it's his fault, really.
He actually hadn't written the book that I was so longing for, but you can look too much into details, can't you?
And the other thing is, the fact that you went to a uni so close... So it gave you that option of commuting in. If you'd have got into Liverpool Uni or applied for Liverpool Uni, you would have lived there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that was it. This is the other thing, going back to what we were saying about accents earlier, that really pissed me off about Birmingham. And this became apparent after like the first week. Set the tone, really, for the next 3 years. So obviously, I was a local at my local university, the University of Birmingham. Mm-hmm. Most of the people on my course were from Surrey, right? Proper, like, white, middle-class, posh kids, taking the piss out of my accent, and they've chosen...
At your university?
They've chosen to study at the University of Birmingham.
That's mental.
I was like, get some respect, I'm on fucking home turf, mate. Fuck off back to Guildford.
It's a fucking red brick, though, isn't it? So they probably went for that reason. Is that one of the reasons you chose it, or no?
It's a red brick.
Yeah. Does that actually carry much weight?
Russell Group unis, I think it does.
Yeah, okay.
It does in like grad job circles, where it's still kind of quite elitist. But then obviously I had no aspirations of joining one of the
anyway.
top kind of like finance firms anyway. So the
unless,
more I unpack it, really, the more fucking irrational my decision.
Well, it's not irrational though. It's herd, isn't it? It's the herd mentality a little bit. So like,
yeah, I guess.
You're not thinking really much about it because you went to King Ed's sixth form. If you go to sixth form, generally the next stage is 100% fucking degree. I'd love to see the statistics on people who went and did a sixth form course and then went to university, because I think that's massively correlated.
To be fair, I did get my redemption though, because I then went and did a masters in Manchester and lived there until COVID happened.
That's true.
And I love the course. I did international relations and I love Manchester, so that was like my redemption arc.
True. One of my actual not regrets, but like certainly something I've thought about is that I didn't experience that university time, because it is super unique. I think if you if you live at uni, those 3 years you don't give a shit about anything else really. You're obviously trying to do the course and all the rest of it, but there's not much in terms of real life stress. We're living away from home for the first time and all that sort of stuff, which I did anyway with the Marines. And obviously there's always a thing of wanting to do what you didn't do because you don't know whether it would have been better or grass is always greener. But I think probably what I did was the best thing I could have done, because while it's a different experience than university would have been, it's definitely massively unique.
I was just about to say, it's so much more. If you think about how many people go and do an undergrad,
yeah,
compared to how many people become a Marine, like there's no comparison there really. And also, if you'd have done, I know this is a slightly rarer pathway into it, but I think it says a lot about someone if they can go to university and have kind of the critical thinking, always question why drilled into them through their degree, and then go into the military. That's mad.
Okay.
Because that's exact. So there's no way now that I could join the military.
No.
In fact, someone asked this the other day, like, did you ever think about joining the military? I couldn't.
No.
Because for 4 years, my mindset was programmed in the complete opposite way. Yeah,
so sometimes I'm obviously, indoctrinated into some stuff. My brain works in a certain way because of my 5 years of the same kind of time period of being wired in a certain way. So sometimes things I don't even think about, I take for granted. You think are really weird the way I think, and same goes the other way. So it's different. It's interesting. It's
good though to balance each other out. So as long as we're together, it's fine. It's just when we're on our own, it's dangerous.
So, but I think those years are super. Obviously, to state the obvious, 18 to 22, that's a hugely important time in your life. So again, if you're in that position, which I'm sure many people are who are kind of listening, 16, 17, just think about it and don't just go with the herd generally, and absolutely think about the course you're going to do.
Yeah, I think also with uni, I attributed too much value to the actual course itself, the stuff you learn on campus, completely overlooking, the fact that you're living away from home, like soft skills basically.
That you do build with.
So if you're thinking about going to uni, go all in is my advice. Make sure you definitely want to do the course. Don't be like, oh, well, this is a good general course to do, like geography.
Yeah, exactly.
Make sure you're 100% committed to the course. And if you go, live away from home.
Yeah, I would say whatever you're doing, go all in.
Especially that's
at that age, what have you got to lose? Go all in. If you don't enjoy it, you can always pivot off, because you spending 2 years doing something that you thought was going to be a really good idea, giving it everything you've got, and like you say, pushing all your chips in that direction. If you don't think it's like the thing to do by 20 years old, who gives a shit? You've got fucking ages. So yeah, whatever you're doing at that age, do go for it.
Don't be sensible like me, because then
there's no point
turn into a bitter, jaded old man like I am now.
There's plenty of time to be sensible. I think again, obviously it's context specific. I would have liked to have had further education in the passion that I've got now, but I think that's probably going to come. I don't think it's something that I necessarily would have foregone going in the Marines when I did for. So anyway, what's yours?
Underrated, overrated, staying on the seasonal theme. Bonfire night.
I am interested to hear what you think about this, but I think rated. I like it. I think it's good.
I like Bonfire night as well, because it's grounded in actual historical events. It's a genuine historic. It was an actual thing that happened in time.
Yeah.
It's not something that's been
We
fabricated.
know you can't enjoy anything that wasn't real.
Exactly, so I can get fully behind Bonfire Night. In fact, I can really get behind it because it holds resonance to where we're from.
Yeah.
Because obviously the final stand of some of the Gunpowder plot members was down the road at Hull Beach House.
Yeah, so it's just a good little evening. I think it's a good mark for. It's obviously been cold for a bit of time, but you know when you're out and actually at a bonfire, like that is the hallmark of changing into winter, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I love it. So like, this is a cold, kind of dry, crisp, kind of November night.
Oh, it's class, isn't it?
As long as it's wet as shit, but like crisp, like you know, when there's like a crispness
I
in
love
the
that,
air.
that weather's class anyway. I think.
Massive fuck off bonfire, not like a massive event, you know, like Himley, where it's too big.
Nah,
Like a pub one.
massive fire, but not that many people.
Yeah.
Sparsely populated, massive fire.
Yeah, like a pub one.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's enough people there, but it's not too many people.
Yeah.
Like a hot pork roast or something.
Oh yes, this is fucking good to go.
So we're dreaming about this and Austin tonight.
Yeah, we're booking our November fucking. What is it, November 5th? We'll be in
November the
Amsterdam.
5th. Will
Should
we?
we stay in Amsterdam for it? We've got to, haven't we, surely.
That's not a thing though.
Is it not? Is
Yeah,
it only in
because
England?
of the Gunpowder plot was
Surely they
British,
fucking
wasn't it?
celebrate everywhere.
I don't think so.
No, maybe we'll have to come
The
back.
Dutch are weird, mate. They black up at Christmas. Jen, do you know about that?
No.
I forgot what he's called, but like they have a character, right?
Oh, I know what it's called. Racist.
Yeah, so I think the fact he's racist. They have a character who's like their equivalent of Santa,
Right.
and he's in blackface.
That's mental.
And it's just still a norm. Yeah, it's still celebrated.
That's ridiculous.
It's one of those weird things that because it's so enshrined in their culture, everyone knows it's wrong, but they just kind of have to allow it.
That's fucking.
I'm really annoyed. I forgot what he's called, but like I'll Google it after this.
Yeah.
But yeah, Google racist Dutch Santa.
Don't Google it.
But yeah, I actually think now, because Halloween is such a kind of consumerist holiday now, I think it's overshadowed Bonfire Night. I think it should be the other way around.
I think it's better. Bonfire Night's much better than Halloween actual night. You know?
Because Halloween is just bollocks, innit? Like we said, the only reason we like Halloween is because birds dress up in skimpy cat outfits.
Exactly, and that will stay the same. That's not going to change. But
I'd rather they turn up in a massive fuck off grey fucking North Face coat at a bonfire night because it's more wholesome.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of guy now.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
my skimpy cat outfit days are gone, mate.
Yeah, they are. You're monk mode anyway, so you can't.
I won't be at the bonfire night. I'll just be peering out my blinds.
You can't even come outside and talk to women now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's against your whole ethos now. So
I'm full black pill, whatever it is. Is it black pill?
Probably. Where you just think, I don't know. What
black
pill mean?
Or was it red pill? No, red pill's the Matrix, but isn't black pill the extreme version of it?
Maybe. Black pill. We'll find this out now.
Might as well Google racist Dutch Santa while you're there as well. Now that we're doing some Google admin.
No, it's not coming. It's too much. It's too pseudo.
You know why, mate? It's because the Illuminati fucking taking it off the internet because they know that we're onto something.
I've got a university article here called Black Pill Sex, which I'm not going to click on.
That's a site I'm familiar with. I'll be on there later.
Yes. So
like Bonfire Night's underrated.
Yeah, it is probably is underrated. Yeah, because
also,
like you say, Halloween gets the
concept of blowing up Parliament is underrated as well.
Very true. So it should be celebrated more than it is.
Do you know someone that could help us with that actually?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
A kind of
well known
underground international terrorist who may or may not have affiliations with Jerry Adams.
Purely for the record, I don't know anyone who's in.
Yeah. For the benefit of the people from Special Branch that are now listening, Harry Shepherd does not have any affiliations with international terrorists, especially from Northern Ireland.
The problem is here that we've gone through a lot of cycles of serious and silly here. So now people aren't going to know which one we're doing.
So I like to keep people on edge, mate. Do I know Storman? Do I not know Storman? Am I a terrorist?
Am I not? You know,
Am I Walt?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Did I pass the RAF Reg 5 mile of death?
Did you get injured 4 miles in and have to quit? And on that note, we are...
No, we're not. We've still got reasons to be cheerful.
That's intro it.
Oh, okay, right.
Yes, reason to be cheerful.
Reasons to be cheerful.
You've got one again, haven't you?
Yeah, so I've got two, basically.
You're gonna make
I've got
up for the
a
last
shameless
week.
self-promotion.
Beautiful.
And I've got a nice football story.
Go for it.
So which one do you want first?
Football.
Newcastle, Champions League win. First Champions
4-1.
First Champions League night for Newcastle in 20 years, or was it something? I don't know what the commentator
At
said.
that ground, I think, yeah.
At St James's Park.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched it, go and watch the highlights purely for the last goal, because it's absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, it's mental. It's so good. And then all the TikToks this morning of the Geordies on the piss last night. Sensational.
Yeah.
That's what we were saying earlier. It made me fall in love with football again a bit.
Yeah. It needs to keep going with that kind of stuff, though, because football is vastly exiting.
I felt like football won last night, because Newcastle, obviously, I know they've got fucking the Saudi investment fund behind them, but they're a proper club.
Yeah.
With a proper fan base who have gone through quite a lot of shit in the past few decades. So the fact that they, on their return to the biggest footballing stage in the world, kind of bar the World Cup, pummeled Paris Saint-Germain, who kind of stand for
everything that I'm against.
Everything that I'm against in relation to football and kind of like big money, just throwing money at the problem effectively, trying to buy competition.
What I like about Newcastle is they have had loads of investment, but they haven't just spunked it on a massive player. Do you know what I mean? Like, they have bought players, but they haven't just gone for one, like Mbappe or something. They haven't just signed Mbappe. Do you know what I mean? So they've actually built out a team that's really, really good.
Yeah, they're trying to do it organically with Eddie Howe. Obviously, I can't get behind the fucking Saudi Arabia and their fucking bollocks human rights violations. That's mental. But when you get too bogged down in that,
yeah, that's
you just got to leave. Details. Let's just focus on what happens on the pitch.
Yeah, let's just focus on Sean Longstaff.
The fact that him and fucking Dan Burn have scored in the Champions League is sensational.
Against fucking Donnarumma.
Yeah, so
that should never happen.
You wake up, right, and you think, I can't be arsed this morning, I'm never going to achieve my goals. Just remember, Dan Burn has scored in the Champions League.
That's just
let that sink in.
It's always something to think about. Anyway, so what's your shameless self-promotion?
Oh, the fact that I've taken the next step in my business expansion. I've now brought our friends from Plug-in Rehab on board.
Yeah, love this. Do you want to explain? We haven't actually given them their airtime they deserve, probably.
No, we haven't, because you didn't cover it. So obviously they're already... You brought them in on your side of the business.
Yeah, so
we've done a bit of a three-way, really, haven't we?
Yeah, so basically, if you don't know what we're on about, Plug-in Rehab are a company who effectively plug in to a coaching business and sweep up any injured people within that business. It means that the people in the business don't have to, or the people in the coaching, the clients don't have to go externally when they get injured and visit a physiotherapist, incurring more cost, etc. So it's really useful from a coach's perspective, because it means you can just switch someone onto a really experienced physio, but he'll kill me saying physio, won't he?
Yeah, because they fucking hate physios. Now you've said it now, so you're dead to him.
Anyway, but since working with them, we've obviously had a lot of FaceTime with them, and they're just good lads, aren't they?
Good blokes, yeah.
So
and obviously, like, if you're gonna fucking expand, right, you want the best.
Yeah.
And they are the best at what they do, basically. They've been there, seen it, done it. They make me look and feel
like a sack.
I mean, I am a sack, but I don't need to be reminded of it.
Yeah, cheers, guys. The thing is, like you say, you want the best, and you want also to be able to get on with them, because there's no good working with someone day in, day out who you fundamentally don't get on with. And the fact that they are so easy to get on with is one of the big things that I think it makes it work so easily.
And PTs and people in the fitness industry do often have a bit of a reputation for being quite dry.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're good lads, is a match made in heaven. I've obviously got superb chat.
There's other things as well. So they're really, really good with supporting other coaches, and obviously it's part of their business model. I appreciate, but I feel like there's a lot of a culture in the fitness industry, certainly online, where tearing other coaches down is the done thing or whatever, and they're never really doing that. So I think they go about things in the right way, which is important.
Yeah, and obviously I'm new to this. I've fucking been coaching for a while, but like in terms of actually being public with it, I'm all kind of new to this.
Post beta test,
post. But so obviously I've operated in the shadows for a long time. So now I'm
much like you did with his military career.
Well. So obviously I'm a big believer in education, as we know from last week.
Yes.
So I always want to strive and learn from the best.
Yeah.
So it'd be a no-brainer in my eyes.
Yeah.
Because
so
They're a font of knowledge.
They are, and this is it. So they obviously do webinars from my blokes as well, which they'll do for yours. And I sit there on the webinars and I'm learning stuff from it as well.
Yeah, I'm buzzing for it, mate. I'm going to pick up so much. So, like, what was it? So Gaz was like the lower limb specialist at Headley Court, which was like the army
for like 8 years or something.
Rehabilitation centre.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the main one in the country. And then obviously
you got Ash,
Dr. Ashcox, to give him his full title.
He's the clinical lead.
I mean, what hasn't he done?
Yeah, so
he's an academic now.
Yeah.
But he was he a para?
He was. I think he was in. I believe it could be wrong, but he was in the army. I think he got commando trained and para trained. I believe that's the way it went. And then he was a PTI as well.
So he's got his wings. He's got his green lid.
There's not much.
And he was a PTI, and now he's an academic
with a PhD and like 3 undergrad degrees. What we'll do.
So what he doesn't know about fucking exercise rehabilitation isn't really worth knowing. Effectively.
Yeah. Exactly. And he struggles to like distill things down because he's so educated. He can't really. You know, like, there's so much going on.
Yeah.
That just distilling things down, because I can do that because I'm an idiot. But he's not able to like take away nuance, which is obviously the same as most academics. What we're going to try and do is get them on as the first few guests, because they'll have a fucking really interesting story, and I think it's probably something we should do in it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I mean, we could just individually as a pair.
Because we could just open up the floor to them, and they could just talk for an hour.
Yeah,
it's very low fucking effort on our end. That is because they've got so much experience and fucking funny stories.
That'd be class. Yeah, so we'll look to get them on because I think they'll do it because it's obviously exposure for them as well. So yeah, that could be in the near future. We are gonna. Oh yeah, this is another thing. If you're still watching right now, if you are still watching, I appreciate you. Whatever you're on, make sure you're subscribed, and if you're not following on TikTok or Instagram, go and do that as well, because once we hit 1,000 on one of these platforms, we're going to upgrade. Isn't that right?
Yeah, 100%.
So, whichever platform we hit first, so I think Instagram's closest.
It's pretty neck and neck, but I'm hoping it's
Instagram. So go fucking run it up. So, whichever platform you're on, if you're still here, go and fucking sort us out.
Because as soon as we... So basically, this from your end, I'll explain why it's worthwhile. Because as soon as we get to 1,000, we then upgrade our setup. And as soon as our setup's upgraded, that's when we start getting guests on.
Yeah, so it's in your interest very much. If you're sick of us just gobbing off all the time, which you probably are by now, then you need to hit the fucking subscribe, follow, and wherever else it is.
And if you do make it this far, right, message me. Right, so if you've got to this point in this episode, right... Go DM me now on Instagram and tell me that you've listened to this point, because I want to know who are the real G's, as Andrew Tate would say.
Yeah. Do that, and he'll send you something.
A cockpick
of value, not a cockpick, something else. We might even tell
any females can have a cockpick.
Yeah, well,
any blokes can have an arse pick.
They don't want one, lad. Neither of them want that. So yeah. Anyway, we'll leave you to it there. So thanks for listening. Next episode is the Lifting the Lid Q&A, so if you did ask a question about the Marines or the military or whatever, we'll get to that in the next episode.
Sweet.